Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to dive into some computer science. I did this stuff when I was a kid back in college. And one of the things they teach you in computer science is how to sort a list of numbers. And we're going to sort the values in an array using something called a bubble sort. A lot of you have been bugging me to get into more data analysis and computer science-y kind of stuff, so here we go. This is a more advanced developer lesson. And we're going to go back to our dice roller that we built in the nested loops video. I'll give you a link to that in just a minute. And we're going to roll 4 dice and drop the lowest score. So as you can see, like down here, right? 2, 6, 6 came up, that's 14. It dropped a 1 and 2. Here I rolled 5 dice, and I dropped the lowest 2. Okay? And in order to do that, we have to store those numbers in an array. I got a whole bunch of you complaining that I pronounce array wrong, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we're going to store these numbers in an array, and then we have to sort them somehow so we can drop the lowest 2. That's what we're going to do today, is a bubble sort. All right, so prerequisites. Obviously, if you've never done any VBA programming before, go watch this. This will get you started. I started building this dice roller program in my loops series, so go make sure you watch the nested loops video, and you might have to watch 1 or 2 before that too, but this is the one that is right before here. I'm going to use the database from this video. And all this code here is already built, and it does this. It rolls 3 dice, but it doesn't store them in an array, so you need to know how to use arrays, or whatever you want to call them. All right, go watch my arrays video to learn how to store this stuff in memory. Okay, these are all free videos. They're on my YouTube channel. They're on my website. Go watch them and then come on back. All right, so really, what is a bubble sort? Well, it's just taking a couple of loops, a couple of nested loops, and looping through numbers and flipping the lower one with the higher one. So you're going to check to see if a number is higher or lower than the one before it, and then you're going to flip it if it's not, okay? With databases and with Microsoft Access, yeah, we can just click a button and it sorts for us. But how exactly does that work inside the computer? And if you just have a list of numbers and it's not in a table, it's just in memory, how do you sort that list? Well, bubble sort is one algorithm you can use to sort those numbers. Let me give you an example using something that most people, most Trekkies at least, can relate to. So let's say Quark has 4 bars of gold-pressed latinum. And on each one of those bars of latinum is a serial number. We'll keep it short with just a single digit for now, but you get what I'm going with this, right? Okay. Now, his bars of latinum are in order 7, 3, 9, 1. You got to sort those in regular order. Now, with a bubble sort, you use 2 loops. All right, an X and a Y loop. X is going to run from 1, the first item, to the second from the last item, this guy. And Y is going to run from the second item to the last item. Y is the inner loop, X is the outer loop. So it's going to start with X is 1, Y is 2, and then Y is going to go here, here, here. And it's going to compare each one of these to the X value. And then when it's done looping, X is going to increment and Y is going to continue with this one and this one. And the lowest number is going to bubble down to the left. That's why they call it a bubble sort. Okay, so the first one is X is 7, Y is 3. Is 3 lower than 7? Yeah, so we're going to swap those 2. Okay, see how that works? Okay, now Y equals Y plus 1, so Y is going to increment over there. Now, is 9 less than 3? No, it's not. Leave them alone. So now Y increments over to the next one. Is 1 less than 3? Is Y less than X? Yeah, it is. So swap those. So 1 bubbled to the left. Okay. Now Y is at the end of the array. Right? So X will increment now. X moves over there and Y resets to the next one after X. Okay, so Y restarts as well. So is 9 less than 7? No. So Y increments. Is 3 less than 7? Yeah. Swap those 2. Okay, Y is at the end, so X increments, and then Y resets to X plus 1, which is still the same spot. And then we just check to see, is 7 less than 9? Yes, it is. Swap them. And now we're done. And now all of those gold-pressed latinum bars are now in numerical order. Problem is, they are fake bars of gold-pressed latinum, and Quark is not happy. It's nothing but useless gold. All right, so you see how the bubble sort works? All right, let's get into the code and see how we program this. Okay, here is a copy of the Tech Help free template. This is the database from the Nested Loops video. So gold members, you can go and download a copy of this from there, or you can grab it from this one. Everybody else, get to building. If you aren't a gold member, you can't download the template, so that's another reason to upgrade. Well, let's take a look at the code. Let's go in here and review this real quick and see what we got. All right, there's the code from before. One thing I want to mention, toward the end of that video, I told you that arrays, if you start them off like, arrays, whatever. If you start them off like this and you just fill them up like that, this starts at 0, so we got to change our code, right? 0 to 5 or 5 to 0. Well, one of my platinum members, Matt, came up with an elegant solution that I didn't even think of. You could take an empty string and put it in there. Now what do you got? Now you got an array. It's got 7 elements in it, but as far as your code is concerned, it doesn't matter, because now you got, this is 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's beautiful. I love it. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for sharing. So we could certainly do that in here and go empty string like that. And now we can make our loop go from 6 to 1. And now we don't have to worry about 5s and 0s at all. That's awesome. Okay. Now, in this code here, all we're doing is just displaying the roll. We're not actually saving it. So we got to save this data into an array. And yes, I'm going to keep pronouncing it array. I told you earlier I was going to mention why I pronounce it that way. I learned how to program, and I learned, a lot about computers and all that stuff on my own by myself when I was a kid, because we didn't have, the internet and YouTube and all that stuff. I learned how to program when I was about 8 years old on my TRS-80 Tandy Coco, my color computer. So I learned a lot of what I know from books. Okay, I didn't have, I didn't learn it in school, so I didn't have a teacher talking to me, and I didn't have YouTube videos to watch. So when I saw a new word in a book like that, my brain, I pronounced it in my head array. I never heard it before, right? Didn't hear it in real world, just a computer term. So that's how I taught myself to pronounce that word, and it just stuck. And then later on, years later, when I heard the pronunciation of it, and it's array, I get it. It doesn't matter. In my formative years, my brain knows that word is array. I used to get the same thing with the word this, novice, whatever. That's just how I pronounce it, because I learned how to read it and didn't know how to pronounce it, and that's why. So, sue me. I pronounce it the way I pronounce it. If you don't like it, too bad. Don't watch, okay? All right, so we're going to add a new array up here. Dim roll, and we're going to make this 1, 2. Now, if you want to do 4 dice, you can do 4. If you want to do 5 dice, you can do 5. How about we make a constant that's got the value in it? We'll call it max rolls. All right, and that'll store longs. Now, where we're going to put that? Well, we're going to put it up here. Constant max rolls, and we'll set it equal to 4. Okay, so we're going to roll 4 dice. And we can very easily change that in the future to 5, 6, 7, whatever. Okay, if you want to make superhero characters, you set it to like 7, you drop 4 dice, and everyone's got 17s and 18s. That's not much fun. Honestly, when it goes to actually playing D&D, I like just, because it's more entertaining to have characters, obviously with some good stats, like 18s and 17s, but it's also entertaining to have a character with poor stats. You've got the fighter with the 18 strength and the 4 wisdom, or you know what I'm saying? It's more fun that way. Okay, I digress. We're also going to need 2 loop counters for our bubble sort. We'll call them I and J or whatever, any letters, doesn't matter. And we're going to need a temporary variable, because the way that it works is when you're swapping those values, all right, when you're swapping this one with this one, you can't just say x equals y, y equals x. You need a third variable to put that in. All right, you need a little temp guy out here. So you're going to say temp equals x, all right, because now the 9 goes into here. Okay, now you can say x equals y, right? And now y can equal temp. And that's how you can switch two numbers, but you need 3 variables to do it. Okay, so we need a temp variable and we need 2 loop counter variables. All right, so we're going to we'll just call it temp as along, I as along, and j as along. All right. This is fine, all that's fine, down to right about here for our dice rolls. Okay, so we're going to roll the dice and store them in an array this time. Okay, all right. We're going to say y equals 1 to max rolls. Okay, and then instead of putting it in D, we're going to say roll y equals die roll of 6. And then next y here. Okay, so the array is getting filled up with dice rolls. 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to whatever you got it going on to. Okay, now, once we got all the numbers in there, we can now sort the array. Sort the array with the bubble sort. Okay, so we again need 2 loops. I'm going to just slide this stuff down a little. All right, we're going to do our sort here. So the outer loop is going to be for I equals 1, 2. Now we're going to max rolls minus 1. Okay, so max rolls minus 1. So if it's 4, you go 1 to 3. The outer one only goes to the n minus 1, whatever that happens to be. The inner loop is always going to be for j equals I plus 1. So the second item to max rolls. It's going to go from 2 to 4. Okay. Now here's where we do the swap. If roll j is less than roll I, then, okay, if that second one is less than the first one, if the outer loop is, or if the inner loop is less than the first loop, or you can flip those, doesn't matter, then we're going to swap them. So temp equals roll I. Okay, roll I equals roll j. And then roll j equals the temp. All right, and if next j, next I, and that's our bubble sort. That's it. It's not that bad. It's really easy to write. That's one of the benefits of a bubble sort. It's actually one of the easier sorts to program. There's tons of different sorting algorithms. I learned lots of them in computer science back in college. There's the merge sort, insertion sort, selection sort, heap sort, counting sort, bucket sort. There's dozens of them. And they got better. Bubble sort was one of the first ones that computer programmers developed. And as the years went on, obviously mathematicians and logic people and physicists and, you know, those kinds of people, they came up with really cool sorts that I don't even understand half of them. But when you're doing something simple like this, and computers are as fast as they are today, then it's not a big deal. You know, if you're doing supercomputer level stuff, then you go to college and learn the more weird sorts. If you want to learn some of those additional, better, faster sorts, I know how to do an insertion sort, those kind of stuff. There's better algorithms. If you like this stuff, put some comments down below, and I'll cover some different types of sorts. This is the one that always gets me by, because bubble sort's easy. Okay, so now that we got each array is sorted, okay, now we can drop the lowest roll, which the lowest roll will always now be in position 1. All right, so if I'm ignoring position 1, let's assume I got 4 dice, then I want to just add up the dice from positions 2 through 4. So it's going to be 4y equals max rolls minus 2 to max rolls. So if I got 4 dice, it's going to be 2 to 4. It's going to be those 3 dice. If I got 5 dice, it's going to be 3, 4, and 5. See that? That's why it's max rolls minus 2. You might want to put a note up here for yourself, right? Max rolls must be a minimum of 3. Because if you make that 2, this will generate an error. Okay? Well, not technically. When you try to, no, it should still, no, because when you try to access the array with a value of 0, it will throw you an error, a subscript out of range error. So you got to make sure that's a minimum of 3. but it's a constant, so your user can't change it. You have to change it. You, the programmer, have to come in here and change this. We'll talk about making this variable later. Okay, so we're going to just add up now the dice except for the lowest one. Okay, so the total, actually we got it right down here. We'll move this stuff up now. Ooh, come here. Get over here. Cut, paste. Total equals total plus, instead of D now, it's going to be roll of Y. Okay, whatever that die is. And now we can do our S equals S. Let's bring that up too. In fact, I can get rid of all of this stuff here. S equals S and roll of Y. And then next Y there. And then we can do our S equals S and total. And then status out the S, then status out the line. That should do it. This is, here we'll say display only best 3 dice. All right. Let's give it a debug compile. Everybody looks good. Let's come over here, close it, and open it, and run it. And there we go. And it looks right. It's not showing us the drop dice, but I don't see any ones. There's a 1. You're going to get one every now and then. If you get 2 1s, obviously one's going to show up. But those rolls are a whole lot better. Do you want to see the drop dice? Let's see if we can get those in here. Let's display those drop dice. Let's come in here and we'll go right here. Now, to show the dropped dice, first of all, we're only going to have drop dice if max rolls is greater than 3. So if max rolls is greater than 3, then we might have some dropped dice. So we'll say S equals S and put a couple spaces and say dropped. And then we need to loop from 1, the lowest die, to, it'll be max rolls minus 3. Right? Because if there's 4 dice, max rolls minus 3 would be 4 minus 3 is 1. So it'll just give you 1. For X, you could say for X equals 1, 2, 1, that's fine. You'll get just 1. So for Y equals 1, 2, max rolls, max rolls, Southwest max text rolls. Oh, those are delicious. Max rolls minus 3, S equals S, and roll Y, and put a space after it. And then next Y there. And that should show you the dropped rolls as well. All right. Let me see here. Show dropped rolls. Save it. Ready? Here we go. Bam. And that doesn't, let's see. Oh, we got it in the wrong spot. I got the equal. Got to put the equals first. So we'll do this up here. There. It's just displayed in the wrong order. There. Okay. Some of this I plan ahead of time. Some of this I don't. I didn't plan this part ahead of time. All right. Ready? Now it should. There we go. That looks much better. 2, 3, 3 equals 8. Drop the 1. So even with dropping 1, you still get some crappy scores. Looks good. Drop the 1. That should all be the lowest dice over here getting dropped because our bubble sort looks like it's working just fine. Now, want to change that? Want to let them roll 5 dice? Drop the lowest 2? Well, come over here. Change this to a 5. And now, bam. There you go. Dropping 2 dice. Yep. There's your 18666. Gotcha. Look at that. Want to drop 3 dice? Make this a 6. Make it as high as you want. You want some Superman stats over here? Okay. There it is. There's your score. There's your bubble sort right there. That's the money shot right there. That's the gravy. Now, you'd be tempted to put little text boxes on here, right? So you could roll 5d6, 8d6, whatever. Even change the d6. You can roll d8, you can roll d20, so you can roll 30-sided dice. The problem is the way that we are declaring this right there doesn't lend itself well to using a text box. So if you want to see how that would work, it's going to involve some more tricky array stuff. Post a comment down below. Tell me that you like this computer science-y arrays and sorts and all that stuff, and I'll make more videos on that stuff. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, guys. So whatever you guys tell me you want to see, well, that's what I'll do. And of course, if you like learning with me, if you enjoy this stuff, if you like my teaching style, well, come on to my website and check out my developer lessons. If you think this stuff is fun, these free tech help videos, my full courses are a whole lot more fun. And we go over lots of different stuff in the right order, and I teach you what you got to know to make professional level databases. So come and check it out. But that is going to be your tech help video for today. I hope you learned something. Remember your rules of acquisitions, my friend. I was going to end with live long and prosper like I always do, but this episode kind of featured Ferengi, so we'll go with the rules of acquisition. Okay. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.